Have you ever met someone, and in just a few seconds your heart starts pounding, your mind races, and the world seems to fade away? That surge of excitement isn't just romance. It's your brain lighting up, hardwired for something extraordinary. Today we're going to explore what really happens in your brain when you fall in love. The chemicals, the brain regions, and how that powerful ancient cocktail of neurotransmitters drives survival, attachment, and obsession. When you first encounter someone you're drawn to, your brain kicks into action almost immediately. In less than half a second, your visual cortex, amygdala, and prefrontal cortex begin processing that person. Then your brain's reward system engages. At the center of that reward pathway lies the ventral tegmental area, or VTA, a tiny region deep in the midbrain that releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter often called the feel-good chemical. This dopamine surge travels to other key regions like the caudate nucleus and the nucleus accumbens, creating intense pleasure, focus, and motivation to be with the person you're attracted to. But falling in love isn't just about pleasure, it's also about arousal. Another chemical, norepinephrine or adrenaline, spikes early on. It's what makes your heart race, your palms sweat, and your mind obsessively track every text, glance, or message. At the same time, the level of serotonin in your brain drops to surprisingly low levels. So low, in fact, that research found it similar to levels in people with obsessive-compulsive disorder. That serotonin dip helps explain why new lovers can't stop thinking about their partner, checking their phone, replaying moments over and over. The brain's brakes of rationality and emotional stability are temporarily dampened. So you have dopamine for reward, norepinephrine for arousal, serotonin falling for fixation, and then there's the bonding part. The hormone oxytocin, often dubbed the love hormone or cuddle chemical, is released when you hug, cuddle, hold hands, or share a look of deep connection. Alongside oxytocin, vasopressin plays a role in long-term attachment and protective behaviors. In early romance, this mix of neurochemicals creates an exhilarating state. Your brain practically floods with signals that say, "This person matters, be near them, want them, bond with them." Let's take a closer look at the brain regions involved in this remarkable process. The VTA we mentioned is the starting point. It releases dopamine. The caudate nucleus and nucleus accumbens receive those signals and are central to the brain's reward system. They help generate goal-directed behavior, hyperfocus, and delicious anticipation. Meanwhile, parts of your prefrontal cortex, the brain's control center for decision-making, judgment, and planning, become less active during early love. That's why you might ignore red flags, act impulsively, or feel like you're living in a dream rather than making a rational choice. And the amygdala, the brain's fear and threat detector, also quiets down. That reduction in fear and anxiety may be why lovers feel safe and confident around each other, less critical, more open, and more vulnerable. Other regions turn on as well. The hippocampus, the memory center, records vivid memories of the beloved. The anterior cingulate cortex and the insula get involved when longing or heartbreak happens. And the region called the ventral pallidum becomes more active in long-term attachment, linking to feelings of comfort and pair bonding. In the early stage of love, this cascade of neuroscience creates what feels like a natural high. With dopamine flooding, norepinephrine surging, serotonin dropping, and bonding hormones starting to build, you experience intense euphoria, obsessive thinking, hyper-focus on the partner, and even withdrawal like emptiness when apart. It's no wonder scientists compare new romantic love to addiction. Researchers have pointed out that being love-struck triggers high levels of dopamine that get the reward system going, creating euphoria similar to the effect of stimulants. Your brain is effectively hijacked by the feeling of love. Evolutionarily, this makes sense. Romantic love drives pair bonding, cooperation, parenting, and mutual protection. The brain rewards closeness because for our ancestors it meant survival. Falling in love triggers a neural program meant to secure a partner, form a bond, and protect offspring. But this wild constellation of chemistry and brain wiring doesn't last forever in that same intense form. After about 1 to 2 years, a shift happens. The roller coaster of early love, the thrills, the obsession, the highs and lows begins to stabilize. Dopamine peaks settle, norepinephrine and cortisol, the stress hormone, ease. Serotonin levels begin to return to normal. What takes over is oxytocin and vasopressin dominating the emotional landscape. The ventral pallidum becomes more engaged, and the brain switches from seeking and novelty mode to settled and secure mode. In long-term attachment, you find not just excitement but comfort, trust, companionship, and devotion. The same reward circuits can still be active. Researchers found that even couples married more than 20 years who say they're still intensely in love show brain scans with strong activation in the VTA and related dopamine hubs. In other words, love's chemistry can last, but the dominant quality changes. It's less about obsessive wanting and more about joyful being, less about adrenaline and more about ease, less about chasing and more about staying. The behavioral shift is clear. New lovers take risks, show impulsivity, place the partner at the center of their world. Long-term lovers cooperate, build shared life structures, anticipate each other, support each other, and respond to each other's needs. Their brains evolve too. Cortical areas involved in empathy, social cognition, and shared language become more engaged, synchronizing them in thought and feeling. Why does this matter? Because the science of falling in love helps us understand our behavior, our feelings, and our relationships. When you're dizzy with infatuation, it's not just in your head in a vague sense. It is in your head, quite literally. Brain circuits designed for reward, bonding, and survival swirl together. When lovers say they feel addicted, devoted, irrational, or lost without the other, they may actually be describing neural activity. And when love deepens into attachment, comfort, partnership, and mutual growth, that transformation is likewise visible in your brain's wiring. What begins as a fiery ignition becomes a steady flame. So next time your heart races or your mind won't stop thinking about someone, remember, you're not just experiencing a feeling. You're experiencing a full-scale neural symphony. Dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, oxytocin, and vasopressin all playing their parts. The VTA, caudate nucleus, nucleus accumbens, amygdala, and prefrontal cortex all in the ensemble. Love isn't just poetic. It's physiological, it's chemical, it's neurologically wired. Our brains are literally built to love, to attach, to bond, to seek union. And that is one of the most wondrous things about being human. If you found this journey into your brain under love's spell intriguing, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, because in the next video, we'll explore what happens in your brain when love ends and how you can come out stronger on the other side. Until then, keep your heart open and your neurons connected.